All right, here we go. We're counting down to 3, 2, and 1. Hi everybody, and welcome to Draw TV. Today we have our good friend Eddie Price, and he's going to be talking with us today about the C1 COMICON coming up July 8th and 9th this year at the Colonnade. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and that's in Ringgold, Georgia, correct?
Yes, sir.
I was looking at some of the photos on Facebook, and that's where you can see a lot of information if you follow C1 COMICON. And you're going to have some guests who are from The Walking Dead.
Yes, sir. We're going to have Kristen Azure. She is what I call a Renaissance woman, because not only is she a walker on The Walking Dead and a great actress, but she's also a model and a stunt driver.
Very
cool.
cool.
Pretty cool. She's been on things like, I think stunt driving credits include Ant-Man and other movies. Since they're filming a lot of movies down in Georgia now,
yes,
she's getting on in on the big stuff. We're going to have Ben Bladen, who has been a walker I don't know how many times. Greg Nicotero said he was his favorite walker.
Wow.
At one point, when you go to be a walker, you go to walker school, and Ben has been used as an example of how to act.
That is
by
cool.
Greg Nicotero, who is the makeup guy for the show, and he's directed a slew of episodes himself. So if Greg Nicotero signs off on Ben, I guess we all should. But not only are those two going to be there, but a guy named Pete Pitts is going to be there.
Yes.
He's played a savior on The Walking Dead, and then Skylar Felton, who's also played the savior on The Walking Dead, and who's also in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2 as a Ravager.
Cool.
We got those guys that's going to be there. Then we've got a featured artist for, if you've ever heard of Zenescope Entertainment,
yes.
It's one of the smaller, big comic book companies that's not Marvel or DC.
They're coming up fast, though, aren't they?
Big time. Greg Bo Watson, he's going to be there. He's our featured artist for the show, and his art is stellar, and pleased to have him there. And then his Misty Yates, who is his girlfriend, actually, is going to be there as our professional cosplayer. She's going to head up our cosplay contest and all that good stuff. So we've really got a lot of irons in the fire, and we can't wait for July 8th and 9th.
Well, from what I've seen from before, it looks like it's very exciting and a lot of cool things happening. I have a feeling that this summer is going to be huge.
I think so too. We have all that stuff going on, all those guests, and then we've got tabletop gaming, we've got online gaming going on, like head-to-head competition, things like that. July 8th, the Saturday, we're going from 10 to 10, and 10 p.m. we'll be going, like, part of the show will close down, but then the rest will be open to the gamers. And I understand that all they need is a Mountain Dew and some Cheetos, and they're good to go. and then Sunday morning, interestingly enough, we're having a church service that Sunday morning before the show.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We're going to have a live band. We're going to have a good friend of mine named Tim Smith. He's an awesome artist, and he's also a pastor like myself.
Yes.
He's going to be bringing the word. I'm really excited about that, because this is not just a comic book convention, but it's also an outreach for people that may be searching for answers in their life, and we're the ones that we hope we can give it to them.
That is awesome.
Makes sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. It's a great idea. There's so many people out there who rarely get to hear about Christ or the salvation, and
right.
This is a great opportunity for that.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. We did it last year as an outreach. You know, it was. We knew we were putting on a show, a comic convention, but at the same time we were trying to be an outreach to others, guests and attendees included. And we feel that we were, as the saying goes, servant leadership.
Yes.
We feel like we fulfilled that goal, and we want to spread that even more. So we're spreading it to a 2-day show with a service Sunday morning. And all our vendors are in the position of they can set up while we're worshiping, or they can worship and we'll help them set up. Either way, and we're feeding all our vendors. That's something that, as you probably know, being a con goer, you know, and having a table, that is a rarity. Most of the time, it's lucky if you can get a drink of water or get somebody to watch your booth while you go to the bathroom. If you're running a table, so we're setting that up to meet the needs of the attendees, but also the vendors as well.
Hey, that's a great idea right there.
Yes.
I remember one of the first cons I ever did. I was in high school, and it was in our little town of Santa Fe, Tennessee. Shout out Santa Fe, Tennessee. Go Wildcats.
Right.
And it was our gym coach and a friend of mine and me, and we were trying to sell stuff, and I was trying to draw pictures. This was while I was still in high school. And remember, Santa Fe, it's a small community. And the neat thing was, we like with every convention I've ever been to, whoever you're sitting near, you strike up a rapport. You begin talking to these people,
Right.
and it's more than the conversation you had at school, or in the case of nowadays, more than the conversation online. It's the person-to-person contact, and that really makes everything real. And with the position that you guys are having with the Sunday morning service and everything, that's going to be phenomenal.
Right, I agree. I'm looking forward to big things happening in July.
Speaking of big things, my friend, tell us about this. The was it Upper Deck and Tops?
Oh yeah, I just finished my third set for Upper Deck. I did Fleer Ultra Spider-Man a few months ago, and then I did Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I did a set for Upper Deck for that, which I was honored to be a part of. And then I just finished actually just sent in the stuff today for a finished set of Marvel Premiere 2017.
Wow.
And I think that's something they do every year.
Yeah.
But I'm also working for Tops. I just started today. Tops is called Journey to the Last Jedi. This is my second set for Tops. I did Galactic Files for them, and we're waiting on those to come out in stores. I did a 50 card set for that. And I absolutely adore Star Wars. So that was so fun to draw the things that I love about Star Wars. Anything I could think of, nothing was off limits. Now this set that I'm doing now is relegated to episode 7 only.
Right.
The Force Awakens.
Yes.
So I'm doing that set, which is still chock full of cool stuff, vehicles, aliens, all that stuff. So I just started that today. And then I'm also doing a Walking Dead Season 7 for Tops as well, and a 50 card set. And I've got deadlines looming over my head, but it's all good, you know.
Hey, you're getting to do something awesome. The only thing I have to say is please don't draw very sad Han spoilers. The Han getting slaughtered. I just that was hard already.
Hey, that broke my heart when I saw that, man.
Oh, you're not the only one, brother. You're not. He's my besides Vader, he's my favorite of the heroes.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing right now, as we speak, my Han Shot First T-shirt.
That's great. That is great.
I wore that to work today, my what I call my Clark Kent job, and people were asking me, what does that mean? And I just took the time and educated them.
Yeah.
You know, on George Lucas is awesome, but he's not God. You know.
Right.
And how he kind of mellowed out, and apparently Han was too edgy a character for him in his more mellow days, and he changed him. But we all know, the people that grew up, you know, with the 77 Star Wars movie, you know, and further, we all know who shot first, and it wasn't Greedo, it was Han.
That is right. It was very Wild West, you know, very cowboy kind of thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was perfect. And to go back and re-edit it to try to make everything happy and hunky-dory, please don't. Just stop. Just stop.
And then he went on to say, when he was confronted about it, he said, well, if you'd watched, you know, the way it was edited, Greedo always shot first. And I'm like, okay, now you're just plain out fibbing. You know?
Yes.
And there's a documentary, if you've never heard of it, it's called The People versus George Lucas.
No, I haven't seen that.
If you've never seen it, I suggest you watch it. It's a great documentary, and it's about how the fans who love George Lucas and his creations are so upset with him over the way he changed those things when he did the remasters.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I'm in that small community of someone who actually likes the prequels. And the reason I like the prequels is for the political intrigue.
Oh, yeah.
Just for that alone. Oh, and, of course, Darth Maul. He was awesome.
Yes.
But the political intrigue in that is taken directly from history of someone who creates the problem and wrests the rights from the people through the fear of that problem, and then brings the solution to that problem. And we can look back at
still there
in the days of ancient Rome, and we can look at Hitler when he firebombed his own headquarters, the Reichstag, and blamed it on people who were political dissidents in his eyes. And we can see things of that nature in the Emperor's rise to power in the Star Wars prequels.
Oh, yes. I enjoyed the prequels except for one thing that bothered me.
Jar Jar?
Besides Jar Jar. I could take him as a background character. For me, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but I think the limitation of spoilers worn off by now. But for me, when you get to the third film and suddenly Anakin goes, hey, I want to be a bad guy now. Even the Emperor looks at him and says, are you sure you want to be a bad guy now? And he's like, yep, I want to be a bad guy now.
Right.
But it almost that one scene almost killed me on Darth Vader, and I'm just like, oh, that's my favorite. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Well,
but I still love him, though.
Whenever Anakin's limbs were severed, and he's laying there next to the lava flow, and Obi-Wan is saying, you were my brother, I loved you, I got real emotional because since 1977, I've invested so much time and imagination into those characters, and they mean so much to me that it really hit me in the heart area, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Same as in episode 2, when you see Yoda first ignite his lightsaber, I jumped up in the theater
yes.
and yelled.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like, yes! You know, finally we get to see that. And my wife was like, sit down. And what she didn't realize is that there was like 20 other people doing the same thing.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, you're the minority here. You know.
Yeah.
This is my time. You know.
Oh yeah.
Those characters mean a lot to me because I'll be honest. In 1977, when I first saw the movie at 6 years old, it changed the way I thought about everything to the present day. It really did.
Oh, same here. I saw it in 77 also. I was 6 years old as well. And went to the Polk Theater and saw it. And everything about science fiction changed for me. The way it should look.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, because before that, it was just old movies my dad was showing me on the big show on our local CBS affiliate, Channel 5. And that was like, stuff from the 50s and 60s. And then here, boom, look at this. This is like, wow.
Right.
Even my dad was just like, wow.
I grew up on things like Silent Running, Soylent Green, the Omega Man, things like that.
Right.
And those were awesome movies that I hold dear to this day. But whenever Luke ignited that lightsaber, I was like, what is this? Even at a young age, I was like, this is something totally different.
We're sitting in the theater and the ship goes over. That was pretty much the moment.
Yes.
Say again.
An iconic moment, yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. And when I first saw Darth Vader, I was like, wow. And my viewers
well,
have. Go ahead.
What did you think about Rogue One? The way they did the opening scene from that, they mimicked the ship, that giant ship coming after, and it was just the rings of a planet, and the way the shadow shifted it. It looked like that for a second. I thought that was brilliant.
Oh my gosh. I went with a friend of mine. We went to school together, Mark Dukes, and those who watch Draw TV know that me and him had a disagreement when we were little children about Darth Vader's name. I swore his name was Dark Vader, not Darth Vader.
Right.
So the video's here on my channel somewhere to check it out. But me and him, as adult men, went to see Rogue One together. We were sitting there popping each other in the arm, going, "Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that!" And we're hollering at the theater. Vader comes in, we start applauding, and then for those who have not seen the movie yet, spoiler again, Grand Martoff talking, I hope I'm saying that right, comes out. Peter Cushing comes out, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
And then that ending, I promise you, my eyes got teary-eyed when they say, this is for you. Spoiler warning again. Princess Leia, and we and him are both like wiping tears off our eyes,
Yeah. We went and saw that. My daughter lives in St. Louis now with her husband, and we had went for Christmas to visit them, and the day after Christmas we went and saw that, and it was so cool to see, because when I was the age I was when we went and saw the first movie, with my parents.
Yeah.
My daughter was the same age when we went and saw The Phantom Menace.
Oh, wow.
And that was really, really cool for me. And I don't know if she'll ever even fathom that. But it meant a lot to me to take her to that. Well then, to see, the Rogue One after, the day after Christmas, and then to find out Carrie Fisher had died.
Yeah.
That was so bittersweet, because it's a part of growing up. A lot of people, 2016, everybody said, 2016 is killing all our favorite people. No, it's just because our generation is growing up and getting older.
Yeah.
And we lost people like David Bowie and Gary Oldman and people like that. And it hasn't stopped. It's going to continue.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher was right at the end of the year. And sadly, she passed away, and I was a big Carrie Fisher fan. Not just Star Wars, but stuff like The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah, and Blues Brothers.
Yeah, Blues Brothers. Wasn't she the one that had the machine gun?
Yes.
And John Belushi's like, baby, and then he pushes her down in the mud.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she was, to me, she was an icon. And I mean, I'm just going to say it, the iron bikini.
Oh,
in Return of the Jedi. I was an adolescent, and I was like, whoa, what is that? That's awesome,
My wife collected Star Wars when the movies came out back in the day, and she had an issue of People, I think, or something, where it goes into this long interview with Carrie Fisher about how she got her body in shape just for those scenes alone.
Right, for Return of the Jedi?
Right. And I think she did a good job doing that.
Right. Oh, yeah, me too. And, to to see that continuing, you know, Disney has stated that we'll never see the last Star Wars movie. We won't live to see it. And I'm cool with that. You know, I mean, there's so many cool stories in the expanded universe, thousands of years of lore, and we're just looking in the movies at 60 years.
Exactly.
You know, of the Star Wars universe. And I'm cool with that. You know, I've got all my... I'm looking right now while I'm talking to you. I've got Slave One hanging from the ceiling, R2 on the shelf. I've got Jabba there. I've got my Empire Strikes Back lunchbox. I've got Star Wars electronic battleship that's never been opened.
Wow.
I've got my Darth Vader action figure case. If anybody's a Star Wars nerd, they know what I'm talking about. And it's full of 77 to 82 figures. You know, I've got all that stuff and a lot more, and I know that that's been a part of my life. You know, whether, you know, my dad said I needed to learn how to weld as a trade, and I was like, well, you know, if welding's in Star Wars, I'll do it. You know, but that's all I've thought about. And you know, there was a time in my life where there was the frivolity of youth that I wasted time. I did things I shouldn't do. But there was always Star Wars. I don't know how else to explain that. When I came to myself as an adult in the past 12 years, and I've started this journey of professional art in the past 3.5 years, Star Wars was there waiting on me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
And so now I'm working for the Topps company doing Star Wars. You know, I was just before you called. I was just working on some Star Wars stuff, and I can't believe there's a part of me, you know, there's a part of me that goes, okay, I got this deadline. I've got to get these done by this date. But then there's a part of me that goes, I can't believe I get to do this for the company.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I'm actually drawing these characters that I've grown to love so much in a professional setting. That blows me away.
Brother, I'm so proud of you for that.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, me. So what's coming up in the future? If unless I'm not supposed to say anything or anything like that.
Deadlines. I'm still doing all kinds of freelance art. Last year I met 3 walkers from The Walking Dead, great actors that do other things other than The Walking Dead, and one of them asked me to draw them, and I was like, I'm honored to draw your portrait as a zombie, and that has grown to I think 20. And those take a long time to do, one because I do them really hyper-realistic.
Yes.
As much as possible. It's one of those where you do the picture and you work on, you work on it to the point where you're like, okay, I don't know what else to do to it.
Yeah.
So I've been working with those guys, and they spread by word of mouth. And we just did a show, I got the hiccups, in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yeah.
This past Saturday at a place called, a great comic store called Top End Gaming.
Yes.
And we were there with several different actors from The Walking Dead and other things. And 2 of them I'd already drawn. They're actually going to be at C1 COMICON July 8th and 9th.
Excellent.
And so we're hanging out with them, and these other 2, like if you know who Michonne is in The Walking Dead, she's the cool chick with the samurai sword, and she's got
the dreads,
2 pet walkers on leashes.
Yes, and she has the dread hair. Yeah. She has the dreadlock hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of her pet walkers, as they call them, is a guy named Moses, and he was across from us at this show this past Saturday, and he saw the art, and he signed on. He wants me to draw him, so I've got to draw him now.
Awesome.
And another guy that's from the show named Greg Cruz, and he's in all kinds of stuff. So it's an honor to do that, but I'm just so far behind. I think I've got 7 walkers that I have to draw their portrait that are looming over my head. Then I just finished a set for Upper Deck of the Marvel Premiere 2017. That was a lot of fun to draw, but I felt under the gun because the turnaround date was really quick. So I did a 40-card set for them, and then I just started Topps. I'm doing 2 sets for them at the same time. I'm doing Star Wars Journey to the Last Jedi. It's all from Episode 7 leading into Episode 8.
Yeah.
And then Walking Dead Episode 7. So I'm doing a 50-card set for both of those. And that's considering how many I'm drawing, it's kind of a quick turnaround, but not as bad as the Upper Deck. But I'm also doing other freelance work for other people. Like I've got this great author that I'm doing a comic book rather a book cover for him. I'm doing character sketches, like going off the descriptions of an author to draw the characters based on their descriptions.
Right.
To help them flesh out the characters and give them a little more life.
Oh.
I'm doing a sequential short story for a guy in Missouri. I'm about halfway through with that. Panel to panel work, as they say.
Yeah.
I'm inundated with work. And I can tell you, a year ago, I was talking to one of the guys that I consider a mentor. You're one of those guys I consider a mentor. But I was talking to this other guy that I consider in that capacity, and I was telling him, I wish I had a commission, because it'd been like a month and nothing, because you know how it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get nothing, sometimes you're inundated.
Exactly.
And I'm sitting there going, man, I wish I had a commission. And he said, yeah, I'm covered up. Well, now I have to have a 3x5 card to keep up with what all the workload I've got.
That's great.
And I've asked for every bit of it, but at the same time, it is a lot of pressure. But I know that in my growth as a professional artist, I've got to level up. I can't just stay at one plateau and just be comfortable. If I want to grow as an artist, if I want to grow as a professional artist, I've got to take on things that are out of my comfort zone, that I can, I might be sweating it during, but after it's done, I can look on it with this great sense of accomplishment and move on to the next big thing.
That is an excellent way to do things. When you get to a spot, for me, like if I have a lot of stuff going on, I try to find a spot where I can say, okay, I'm comfortable stopping here for a couple of hours so I can get away from my desk. How do you arrange your time just to take a breath?
Well, it depends on where I am, because during the week I'm at different spots because I have the 9-to-5 regular job. I'm a social worker in mental health, and I do classes during the week teaching our clientele things about being in the quote-unquote regular world.
Yes.
And it can entail all kinds of things that is based off of what they need to learn, not of what I want to teach.
Right.
And while I'm doing that, I'm usually role modeling for coping skills, and my greatest coping skill I've found is art. And so we've got several people in our clientele that like to draw, they like to color, things like that. So we bond on that level. So I get to draw at work, which is great. But then at the same time, I'm also pastor of evangelism at my church. So I'm in charge of doing the things that require the church body to go outside of the church as a vehicle of evangelism to get people inside the church And so I'm always doing Bible study on how to witness to people, or Bible studies on how to evangelize. Putting together the comic show that we're doing in July.
Yes.
That's actually mine and my head pastor's brainchild. It's a vehicle of evangelism. When I'm at a show, I'm doing 14 shows this year. It's the most I've ever done in the past 4 years, going on 4 years. And at my table, I'm an evangelist. I'm a preacher during the week and a pastor at my church, and I'm a professional artist, but I meet and greet people that's buying my art, and I share what God's done in my life and what He could possibly do in theirs, and I get to tell them my story, and I use art to do it. And so it's a great, the con circuit is a great vehicle for evangelism.
Yes.
And, I mean, I'll be honest, we've had church at my booth a few times. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
You know, just to the point where we're just about shouting, you know. Tears shed at my booth in a good way, that kind of thing. But it also, it reinforces why I'm doing what I'm doing in art. It's not just to be a professional artist and people love my art. It's to reach out to people, because there's people hurting. There's people that are not as far down the road in recovery as I am, because I am a long-term recovery drug addict. Going 12 years this month, clean and sober by the grace of God.
Amen.
And I love to share that with people, and it gets people interested. Because I know that, you know, doing shows, you're not just selling pictures of what you draw, you're selling yourself.
Exactly.
And that is very important, and it gets people interested in why you're doing what you're doing. And I love it whenever someone buys a print or a picture,
yes,
of something I've drawn, and I can write with my signature something I shared with them while we were talking.
Nice.
And I know that means something special to them, and it means something special to me, the interaction that we had, and I know that neither one of us will probably ever forget it.
Well, anyone who's ever met you, Eddie, then they're never going to forget you, because you are such a wonderful person.
Thank you, man. I feel the same about you. I won't ever forget when you and me were at Columbia, Tennessee, your hometown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
For Free Comic Book Day 2 years ago, and that girl came in, and my daughter was sitting beside you, and she shared her art. She was very timid, but she loved to draw, and you and my daughter gave her a pep talk, and she was so elated that she started to cry, you know. And that meant a lot to me, to watch you guys, especially, you know, you interacting with my daughter, to do that. But it's something that I love to do. I don't know how many people. I had somebody recently at a show. The mother was, she was there, she was like the spokesperson for the family, and they were all at my booth. And she told me, she said, my son draws. And I was like, oh, really? That's awesome. And he said, he had his head down, real timid, and she goes, he's got his notebook with his pictures there. And you've probably seen this happen yourself. And I said, well, I would love to see your art. And he's like, it's not very good. And I said, look, why don't you let me be the judge of that?
There you go.
He showed me his art. It was really good. And I told him, I said, hey, man, you can do what I'm doing right now. You know, you've got the talent. You need to hone it, and feed it. Well, like a week later, the mother found me on Facebook, and I had no idea the day of our interaction. She said, thank you so much for taking the time with my son. He had quit school.
Oh.
And he was in high school, and he had dropped out. And she said, after your talk with him, he decided he wants to be a professional artist, and he got back in school.
Great.
that's better than any sales or anything you can think of when it comes to doing a show. You know.
Oh yeah.
I've recently had a couple that they're both artists, and they were like, "We don't think our art's very good." And I said, "I bet you got some on your phone. I want to see it." And they were saying, "Well, okay, if you're sure." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." So I gave them this pep talk, and the guy of the couple messaged me a couple weeks later. He said, "I'm working on getting in my first show as an artist." I'm like, "I can't wait to see your stuff."
Awesome.
You know? And then he got turned down for a show, and then he applied for another show, and he got in.
Excellent.
And he was like, "Man, I hate to bother you, but I've got so many questions. I don't know what I'm doing." And I just gave him my phone number. I said, "If you have any questions, feel free to call me. I would love to answer any of them, and I can't wait to see what you're capable of doing these shows." You know,
That is amazing.
it's awesome. Yeah, exactly.
Oh me. My favorite thing to do when I'm doing any kind of little appearance. I haven't done any appearances in a while because of some personal matters, but whenever I do, I love when the little children bring their sketches to me, their little drawings.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had them actually give me their drawings, and I say, "Wait, I need you to sign that." And they look at me and they smile so big. But that's like one of my favorite things to do. If a little child does that, I'm just like, you gotta sign that
definitely.
for me.
And I've had older people that I knew were older than me, come up and want to show me their art and ask me my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, golly, I'm just a guy that bought some stands and some banners, and I love what I do, and I paid the table fee, and I'm here. That's the only difference between us, you know, and to give them that pep talk that they apparently need, and then to watch them fly from that pep talk, it's just, I don't know, you can't put a price tag on that. Or to tell, I was at a show in Jackson, Tennessee, and the show was horrible, I'll be honest. I'm not going to say the name of it, but okay. I'll never work it again. I met this guy. He was an avid comic collector. Like he likes the Jack Kirby stuff. You know, he collects the Fantastic Four from back then. You know, he's a diehard collector. And his daughter was with him, and she was pregnant out to, you know, as they say, out to here.
Yes.
And I told him my story about how I used to be a drug addict, you know, for nearly 20 years, and now how I was redeemed and divinely healed 12 years ago. And I'm telling him about that, and he said, the smile on his face said it all. And he said, "This is my daughter, and she's in recovery now, off drugs." And I was like, you know what? You're going to have to give me a high five on that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, then later on, I did a T-shirt contest with one of my Walker pictures, where what we do is we have people send in a caption, what they think would be hilarious, you know, along with the T-shirt, and then the actor that is the subject of the art picks the winner. And this guy won, and he won it for his daughter. And I got a picture the other day on Facebook, tagged me. It was his daughter with her newborn baby, because she's had her baby since then, with this shirt.
Oh.
You know, and I was like, man, that is so cool, you know.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand. You know, I know we all have rough days. I don't understand these guys that are the, you know, the legendary artists, that they have forgotten where their bread is buttered, and fans come up to them and they're jerks. You know, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I kind of know who you're talking about. Some of them, and I'm not going to say any names, but
right.
It's become, you know, look at me, I'm this important and you're nobody. Well, my friend, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be who you are.
You wouldn't have a job.
Yeah. Because, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not going to go into it, but we've talked about this before. Off air, ladies and gentlemen. Off air.
Yeah. Well,
but
that's why I tell my wife, we talked about it one day, and I said, I can't have a bad day when it comes to the shows. You know, you have those people that are, they can be jerks at your table, you know, and I've had a few, I know you've had a few, that ask you the dumbest questions, or they have the most opinionated, without education, statements to make to you, and you have to just grin, you know, and say, well, great, you know. I had one guy, I do the 3D art, that is apparently rare, and I had all my 3D stuff showcased behind me in my booth, and a guy walked up to me during the show, and he instructed me on how to make 3D art, and I was so flabbergasted, because he's telling me all these steps to make 3D art while he's looking at my 3D art like I didn't know how to do it. And he didn't even know, he wasn't even correct on the steps. And at one point my wife turned and said, pointed to my art and said, you mean like this? And he said, yeah. And sometimes people just don't know what they're saying, you know. But you've got to still keep a smile on their face, because those people are going to go and say, hey, I met this artist at the show, and he was either awesome to hang out with or he was a jerk. And I don't ever want to be somebody say he was a jerk when they use my name.
Yeah. My fellow artist, Ricky Blaylock, lives on the other side of Columbia. He does a lot of Walking Dead and a lot of photorealistic black and white artwork. And when me and him go to a show, we pretty much make it into a party. And if anyone's near us, we try to make them laugh or just be silly. Even if we're not making a nickel, we try to have fun. Eddie Price you're doing the cards. You've done artwork for various people, and artwork for Walking Dead fans and for Walking Dead members. What are you working on next?
Oh man, right now I'm doing 2 sets at once for Topps Company of Walking Dead and Star Wars, and then a bunch of freelance work, including the walkers, the actors from the show that have commissioned me to do their portraits, book covers, logos for people, sequential art. I'm in the middle of a bunch of stuff. I just had a guy that sent me, he wants me to do, he's an author that I just met a few weeks ago, and he's wanting me to do character sketches of his main characters based off of his descriptions, and that's a lot of fun to do, to interpret that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So I'm saying yes to everything because I've not done this, and I've heard other artists say, I won't do logos, or I won't do this, or I won't do that, and I want to explore all the stuff, the different aspects of being an artist, because, you know, I set out to be a comic book artist, but who knows? Who knows what I will gravitate toward that I will find more rewarding. So I don't want to put myself in a box. It's kind of like, you know, I've always liked to play rock and roll, but, you know, I got a little country twang in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And I've never fed that, and I'm kind of, there's kind of an empty spot in me because of that. But I've always said I'll only play rock and roll. I don't want to do that. I want to find what it is that I feel fulfilled by doing and stick to that. And if it's all those things, then I'll keep doing them. If I try things and eliminate them along the way, then that's good too, you know.
Yes, definitely. Now, I'm hoping the last time we talked, I was just like blown away by how much you had achieved, and now I'm completely blown out of the water by how much you've achieved. And
well, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and predict it now. I'm predicting that you're going to be in comics either doing covers or doing artwork inside within the next few months. I'm pretty sure.
Well, thank you.
And I wouldn't
you feel free to tell Image, Marvel, and DC all that.
hey, Image, Marvel, and DC ain't got nothing on what the Lord's got set up for you, my friend.
Well, I agree. And to me, it's saying yes to those opportunities that is the difference. There's so many people, like I was saying a minute ago, they put themselves in a box and go, I'll only do this, I'll only do that. And I'm like, why do you do that? You know, you may be missing out on a big opportunity by pigeonholing yourself. And on the one hand, I've got more work than I've ever had as far as my workload at one time. It's to the point where, I'll be honest, a few weeks ago, I was so tired that my wife and I were going to watch a movie. We had set aside that night. We said, okay, we're going to watch this movie. Well, I drew, as soon as I got home, I was sitting at the art table, and I drew until she got home. And I was so tired I couldn't see straight, literally. And I said, babe, I don't have a movie in me tonight. I'm going to bed. And she said, she was totally understandable with it, because she's seen how hard I'm working.
Yes.
And she said, I didn't know this till the next day. I don't remember getting up and going to bed. I don't remember telling her that.
Oh, wow.
She said that whenever I went to bed, she checked on me. I was laying in the bed, fully clothed, except for my shoes, and that I had tucked my arms inside my shirt because apparently I was cold, with covers laying right beside me. I didn't even pull the covers over on me. I just had my arms tucked in my T-shirt. And she said, I tucked you in, you know. And she was worried a little bit about that. And I said, well, you know, I'm pushing myself. I know I am, because I'm not just drawing all the time. I'm working a 9-to-5 job. And then I'm also a pastor of evangelism at my church, and I'm teaching on Wednesday nights and Sunday nights.
Yes.
And not to mention praise team, I'm also the drummer, you know, so I'm going to practice and things like that. And she sometimes she says, you know, I get worried about how much you push yourself. And I said, you know, 18 years I wasted with drugs, you know. And now I've got this second chance on life, and I don't want to waste any of that. And I hope I'm not doing wrong by pushing myself, but I feel like with this second chance, I don't want to waste it. And there's an old, in the book of Proverbs, there is a scripture that says, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. And I tell people this, the locusts ate a lot of years of my life when I was a drug addict, where I could have been doing this stuff all along. And I got this second chance, and I'm trying to repay for the years those locusts have eaten. And some people might say, you know, I'm a workaholic, or I'm doing too much too soon, things like that. I'm saying I'm living life to the fullest. Even though I might be tired, I'm enjoying everything that I do. There's nothing that I can think of in my life where I'm like, this is just a hassle. I'm thinking of it in terms of, I've got a second chance that a lot of people that I've known in my life personally don't get. I get to meet people. I get to challenge them in their own life. I get to inspire them with what I'm doing. So why not work as hard as I possibly can to keep that up, you know?
Oh, definitely.
It is tiring, though.
Yeah. I've fallen asleep at my desk many, many, many times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When I was younger, back way long time ago, I used to draw for Scary Monster magazine, and worked with the late, great Ron Foss. And that was like incredible. The man taught me so much. I have like stacks of letters, and I'll eventually want to take that and turn it into a book, you know, showing, you know, parts of the letters that were instructional, not our personal conversations and stuff. But it was just stuff that I had no clue about or anything like that. But but I worked hard. I worked so hard that I would fall asleep. I had a day job, the job I had, I was working days or nights. I had to swing, so whatever they needed me to do, I did.
Oh man, swing shift is the worst.
Yeah, and but I had the energy. I was young,
Right.
But I know exactly what you mean about the falling asleep and all this. And I fell asleep one night and ruined a drawing while I was inking it. Oh, so mad.
Oh man.
I was using
that's like last week when we were going to do this then, last Thursday. It was like 6 o'clock, and I said, well, I'm just going to rest my eyes in my recliner, and I'm sure that I'll wake up, or I probably won't even go to sleep in time for the Vance's interview. And then it was like 10:45, and I woke up like, oh no. You know how when you wake up, you're late?
Yes.
Immediately. I went, oh no, and then I saw your message, hey, are you there? And I was like, oh gosh, I feel like dirt.
Oh, no.
And that happens sometimes, you know.
I wrote you back and told you to get some rest. Don't worry about it. But
like the other day, I had a lady that she bought a print for me, and she's way out in Richmond, Virginia, and she liked a particular print of Pennywise from it. And she had found me through another guy that does horror art, and me and him traded. And he was nice enough to feature the art that I sent him and tagged me on it. Well, I got like 20 friend requests from that, from people that were friends with him. Well, now they're fans of my art, which is awesome. Well, this woman, she ordered a print of Pennywise, and I have 2 different ones available. And I was like, well, would you like this one or this one? And she said, I want this one. And I was told her I would get it in the mail Monday. Well, it ended up, it wasn't until today that I was able to actually physically get to the post office because of my 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
And our post office closes, and I was like, okay, look, I know I did all this week. I've got to leave early today and get to the post office because I got a promise to keep that I'm already late on. So I went the extra mile, and I threw in for free the other print too of the same character.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, man, it was like I sent her the tracking number, and I showed her a picture that I drew on the envelope, Pennywise at the very bottom of the envelope looking up, and a word bubble that says, do not bend or you'll float.
Yes.
And I sent her a picture that I said, it's in the mail. And I said, and to thank you for your patience, I threw in this other print for free. And she sent me this just so sweet. She said, you just don't know. I was having the worst day today. And I said, well, I hope it gets better quicker. Or, quick. And she said, it just did. Thank you so much. Man, those people that you serve with your craft will never forget that. If you just sometimes go that extra mile,
Oh, yeah.
They'll never forget it.
It's always
now. There's always the people that are seeking to exploit people, and I think that when you do this business, you get a sense for those people. But the ones that are true blue, they're for real. You get the sense that they are, and you want to do that extra for them.
Oh, definitely.
Have you had experiences similar to that?
Yes. Whenever I'm sending off something anyway, I try to include a little bit of extra stuff in there. So any of you who are listening, if you want to buy something, there'll be extra in your package.
Right.
But no, I feel like you're buying a print. I used to sell originals on eBay, but eBay got kind of picky about what I could sell. So like if I'm doing a Captain Marvel or a Batman or something like that, they tell me I can't sell it on eBay, copyrights and all that. Even though it is an original piece, they still say no.
Right.
So, but whenever I sell stuff like that, I always try to do a little something extra. It's just the right thing to do.
Well, it goes a long way for that person not only that, but it also, they're going to let other people know, hey, you want the hookup, go with this person, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then they put in your name.
Oh yeah, and you don't want no one to say, well, they were a horrible person. They treated me shabbily. Their stuff they sent me was garbage. You know, blah 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 blah. I did a show, maybe about 4 years ago now, 5 years ago now, and I was doing. You've seen me do the $5 sketches. I think you've seen me do that.
Right.
All right, so I'm doing one, and this family comes up, and they say, do one for us. And I said, it's 5 minutes for $5. I said, okay, great. Do us as a family as superheroes. I said, okay, great. So I did the sketch, and it looked pretty good for 5 minutes, you know, for what it was.
Right.
The man reluctantly hands me the $5 bill, and he says, this is what you do? And I was just like, it's a 5 minute sketch. I'm sorry. And I really wanted to try to reach out and say, you know, here, take some of these with you. You know, I want you to be happy. But I thought for a minute, it's a 5 minute sketch for $5. So I told the man, I said, if you don't like it, I can give you $5 back. His wife said, I like it. Keep the $5. Nah.
Right.
But, you know, go ahead.
We had, and you know this from being an artist in a booth, the biggest question you get asked that's kind of dumb is, you're sitting there drawing, you got art that you made all around you, and what do people say?
Did you do this?
Yes, exactly. You know, did you draw this? And then the follow-up question, which always blows me away, is you say yes, and they go, all this?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever had that one? Well, I was at a show a couple of weeks ago, and the guy to the left of me was an author. It was his first show he ever did. Great guy. He writes sci-fi fantasy. And he said, he was like, man, I'm nervous. You know, we were talking while we were setting up, and he said, man, I'm nervous. This is my first show I've ever done, and I really don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, anything you need to know, if I can answer it, I will. You just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Well, during the course of the day, I had an artist that's a friend of mine. His name's Andy Duggan. Great artist. He's to my right. And, you know, we're all talking during the day. And I told the author, I said, one of the things you'll get asked, it's a dumb question, but you'll get asked at every show, at least from an artist standpoint, I said, is, did you draw this? And I said, and then half the time you'll hear, when you say yes, they'll say, all this? Yep. I said, I had one young lady said, did you draw this? And I said, I asked her, I said, do I not look like an artist to you? And she actually said, no. And I said, well, will you tell me what an artist is supposed to look like, and I'll see what I can do about it? And she grinned. Well, I told the author, I said, watch. I said, I'm going to prove that's the main dumb question you get asked. I turned to Andy, who's a seasoned artist. I said, Andy, what's the dumbest question you get asked at the show? And he goes, oh, that's easy. Did you draw this? And the guy, the author, laughed. Not 10 minutes after we had that little laugh, this woman came up to that author and she said, did you write this? Now, this guy even had his own picture on his banner along with his book cover. And she said, did you draw this? And Andy and I, the artists, are sitting there just muffling laughter because we don't want to mess him up, you know, because he's standing there. The lady goes away, and we just bust out laughing. And I said, I told you. And he said, the author, he said, that's not the craziest part. And I said, what do you mean? He said, she knows me. She knew him.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, okay, that blows anything I got out of the water, you know. But yeah, I mean, you get, and then you'll hear, you know, my cousin could draw better than you. You know, you'll hear that. I'm sure you've probably heard that.
Oh yeah, I usually just say, well, then he needs to get a table here.
Exactly. One of my favorites is, I can't draw a straight line, and I'll say, me neither. That's why I use this ruler, and I'll hold up a ruler.
Well, I do this trick.
That's always fun.
Hey, when someone says that, I say anyone can draw, and they look at me and they go, "No, they can't." And I said, "Yes, you can." I said, "All right, take this pencil. Here's a piece of paper. Draw the number 0. Draw it big. Okay. Now around the number 0, draw write the number 7 sideways, like pointing upwards, like the bend pointing upwards. Now under those 7s, draw straight lines down." And they're like, "Okay, what did I do?" I said, "Look what you just did." I said, "You just drew a lake with some trees around it." They're like, "Hey, that's not fair." And I said, "Hey, you just drew a picture."
Hey, there's another trick you can use. Have you ever seen the one where you write the word boy and turn it into a boy with glasses?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, you write the word boy, and then the B and the O, you make that the eyes with the big round glasses.
Yeah.
And the top of the B, you bring it on around to the Y, arc it over like the head.
Yeah.
And then you draw the mouth underneath and stuff. And I had a lady when I was a little kid. I would sit with her at church, and she would do that. She would write the word boy and show me how to draw a boy with that.
That is cool. Actually, ladies and gentlemen,
I was very patient.
Now you can't see what I'm doing right now, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm actually doing that right now. That is just too cool. That is too cool.
Yeah, it works.
Actually,
like the Y is his ear and his jawline. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I ended up drawing Homer Simpson somehow, but.
Hey, you know what? I was just drawing one. You talking about drawing something accidentally?
Yeah.
I drew a picture of an old man, and when I got done, I swear it was Jason Robards.
Wow! Wow!
I was like, where did that come from? This is just the spitting image of Jason Robards. And I'm like, did I filter that through my subconscious somehow? Because I'm a big Jason Robards fan.
Sure.
I've never seen a movie with him in it that I didn't like.
Right.
His performance in, like, if you remember the movie Something Wicked This Way,
yes.
You know, he's the kid's dad in that movie.
Yes, I've got the DVD
but
somewhere.
But it was Jason Robards. I was like, well, that's weird.
Well, it's better than drawing Homer Simpson. Oh my goodness!
Somebody.
Oh, now, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie, as I said earlier in the show, is doing the C1 COMICON at the Colonnade in Ringgold, Georgia, July 8th to the 9th this year, 2017. Yeah. And there's going to be comics, anime, cosplay, giveaways, gaming. There's going to be special guests from The Walking Dead. There's going to be more, and it's going to be a blast. And really, go to Facebook, look up C1 COMICON. Where else can we look up C1 COMICON at, Eddie?
You can go to c1comicon.com. That's our website. And then there's the Facebook page. And like you said, we're doing giveaways all the time. We just did a giveaway just the other day. I did a Millennium Falcon from Star Wars, and I actually had this lady. She does great crafts. She does handmade pocketbooks, keychains, and stuff like that based on comic books.
Wow!
And her work, like she did a purse for my wife that is as good as any Prada bag or anything you'll find in a boutique store.
Wow.
But it was Walking Dead themed.
Oh.
Because my wife is a big Walking Dead fan.
Well, there you go.
I'm talking about impeccable detail and workmanship. But she just did, a few months ago, she did a series of keychains for me based off of some of my Star Wars art. And we just did a giveaway of a keychain. And we've done giveaways with T-shirts, prints, and we're going to continue doing that all the way up to the show, you know, which is coming up like 50, 60 days away.
Yeah, it's not too far away.
Yeah, and we're really excited. We're going to have gaming. We're going to have the comics and collectibles, all the toys. Artists, great artists are going to be there. The actors, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have a big cosplay thing going on. We're going to have tabletop gaming, you know, like World of Warcraft, things like that. And then we're going to, if I'm saying that right, I'm not a gamer as far as tabletop, but like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we're going to have online gaming where you do head-to-head like Halo and stuff like that.
Yes.
Super Smash Brothers. We're going to have all that stuff going on, and we're just going to have a blast.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's 2 days of that. So
how much is
I'm going to be really tired after that weekend, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, how much is admission?
$10, and for 1 day, $15 for the whole weekend.
All right,
and kids 10 and under, I believe, get in free.
Nice. Now, I saw some photographs, and there's a hotel right up the road or across the road. Is that correct?
Well, we've got Quality Inn, which is one exit away. It's actually just around 3 miles from the convention center.
Excellent.
And we've worked out a deal for discounts. We're getting a good discount on double queen bed rooms, you know, where it's 2 queen beds.
Yes.
And then king size singles. And they're cutting us a deal on discounts on about 50 rooms.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, Kathy and I, my wife, we went a few weeks ago to negotiate that deal. And I was like, hey, I feel like a grown-up doing stuff like this, you know. I'd never done anything like that. But it was really easy to do. They were ready to, you know, they were used to that kind of thing. And they were like, well, yeah, we'd love to help you out. So we've got 50 rooms, and it's a mix of the double queen and the single king rooms, and at a discounted rate. Not only that, but you can go through our website to book the room with a link.
Yes.
At the discounted rate. And Quality Inn, I don't know if anybody out there has ever stayed at Quality Inn, but I love Quality Inn. The particular one we're going to be at has a complete gym and indoor pool. They have hot breakfast, not continental breakfast, hot breakfast. They have it all, the scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, all that good stuff. So people that stay in at Quality Inn during that weekend will probably eat better breakfast than I do. You know? And they've got it going on. So we're real proud on board. And it's just the stars are lining up.
It also says on here, now I don't know if this is still valid or not. Are you still looking for artists and comic book stores to buy spaces up, or are you full up already?
Yes, we have a little over half. We have room for about 50 tables total, and that's gaming, comic stuff, and artists all. That's our main thing, and then like cosplay too. And we have booked over half of our tables, and we've got several people that's inquiring about booking more. So tables are going fast. I don't think it'll be long before we're booked up. This is in a 10,000 square foot ballroom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's state of the art facility. It's a fairly new facility that we're going to be at. It's very pretty. It's beautiful. We're going to have, they'll have a table inside, but on the outside, there's a friend of mine that will have the Apocalypse Jeeps. They'll have the complete mock-up. They'll have like these cool apocalyptic vehicles like that's made to survive during a zombie apocalypse.
Now is this?
And they do it up, man. They have dummies out there that look real, sitting looking like victims and zombies and everything else. You can get your picture made out there. It's going to be fun.
Now is that similar to what you did back in the fall of last year?
Yes.
All right. On the screen,
it's just going to be more elaborate.
Okay. Well, on the screen, I'm showing pictures from last year's con. And that picture's on the screen right now, or will be when I get through editing it.
Right. And not only that, but in addition to some of our giveaways that we were talking about earlier, we're giving away free passes to the show, and we're giving away, and you can go on C1 COMICON to participate in that, get them. And we're giving away like a photo op of your choice with a celebrity of your choice.
Nice.
That kind of thing. And we've got, like you were saying, we've got 3 different actors from The Walking Dead that played zombies in recurring roles. And then we've got 2 actors from The Walking Dead that are, if you're a Walking Dead fan, they're Negan's soldiers. They're called Saviors.
Yes.
And they're in there every week with Negan somewhere in the scenes. And these guys are just awesome guys to hang out with, and they love to meet people, same as me. And all these guys are ready to get their picture made with you, you know, and let you pick their brain about all things Walking Dead. But they also do other things like one of them. I was watching a movie recently, and I thought I recognized him in the movie, and I messaged him on Facebook. I said, "Are you in this movie?" And he just messaged back. He goes, "Yeah, I'm in this scene." I'm like, "I'm watching you right now." You know, it was really kind of surreal, you know, because I'm from this little podunk town that has 2 traffic lights, you know, and hanging out with these guys is pretty neat. And so we're going to have all that there, and we just can't wait to meet people there, to facilitate people finding the art that they're looking for, the comics or toys that they're looking for, or that celebrity photo that they've always wanted because they're a fan of some show, or chilling out and playing games with one another. You know, we're going to have all that, or dressing up and possibly winning a prize for how well you dressed up.
And this is all at the C1 Comic-Con coming July 8th
Yes,
and
sir.
9th.
July 8th and 9th.
And that's at the Colonnade in Ringgold, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
And make sure you can go out there, you know, either get you a table and set up, or just go out there and walk up to Eddie and look at his artwork and say, "Hey, did you draw this?" I want to thank Eddie for joining us for today's Draw TV, and make sure you look up the C1 Comic Con, c1comiccon.com, or look up on Facebook. Get the information, get you some tickets, and have yourself a great time.
Yes.
Be safe, my friends, and God bless. And we'll talk to you on the next Draw TV. All right, we're clear now, Eddie.
All right, brother.